now it's Friday, February the 7th, and I am coming to you from beautiful Ventura, California, aboard No Force One. We are on tour following the Libertarian State Conventions. This comes out of Louisiana. Good old Louisiana. So, NOLA reports Louisiana Supreme Court to review life sentence over $30 marijuana sale at Tulane hearing. Now, Tulane is the name of a parish or a county, or who knows what they call it down there in Louisiana. I just can't keep up with those folks. Now, this was published by John Zimmerman on January 26th. Like I said, it is a little bit dated. We didn't have time to get to it last week. When you look at the article, it's kind of insane. You've got 7 judges here, and it looks like a prosecutor or maybe a defense attorney is speaking to them. A couple of the judges have looks of disgust on their face, and others are smiling, and it makes me wonder right off the bat, what are they smiling at? And what are the others disgusted at? Are they disgusted at the idea that this veteran, a man who fought and served for his country overseas, got caught with $30 worth of weed and is now giving his life back to the institute that he served? Or are they disgusted by the fact that he's using the cannabis? Looks like we've got some mixed reactions, so the answer is yes. I can't even believe that I'm able to report this, but you guys, this is way more common than we even realize, which is the whole reason for this broadcast to begin with. Article goes on to say, the weight of marijuana in a typical joint is what Derrick Harris handed to an undercover agent who knocked on his door in Abbeville in 2008. Harris, a military veteran, handed the agent 0.69 grams of the drug and pocketed $30 in return. I'm not going to comment on the price of that transaction, but we're talking about less than a gram here. 4 years later, a judge found Harris guilty of marijuana distribution. A Vermilion Parish prosecutor invoked the state's habitual offender law, and the judge sentenced Harris to life in prison. For less than 1 gram of weed, a substance, again, that has never hurt anybody, killed anybody, at worst has been misused, just like shopping or eating sugary foods could be misused, landed a veteran, a service member, in jail for life. I want you guys to soak that in for a minute. Harris's prior convictions dated back to 1991, 17 years before that minor pot bust, a conviction for dealing cocaine, according to court filings. He was convicted of simple robbery in 1993 and again in 1994. 3 years before the ill-fated marijuana sale in 2005, Harris was convicted again on a charge of theft under $500. Now, I think anybody who is listening understands and could agree that I do not condone theft in any manner. What was stolen is not clear in this article, but I can't help but notice the fact that this all started with a cocaine bust back in 1991. Again, minor bust is what the article says here. He was given life in prison for less than a gram of weed, and I am going to go ahead and suspect, just assume, that the amount of cocaine back in 1991 was not that much either. I want you to imagine being thrown in jail just for having a substance in your pocket. Who knows whether you were using it responsibly or irresponsibly. And being introduced to a life after you get out where you can no longer find a job. You're being criticized by your peers and you're now labeled as a criminal. I could understand somebody being beaten down to the point where, since they have no way to obtain these resources that they need in their life, they may turn to theft or robbery. Again, it doesn't say what he was stealing, but statistically, the most popular thing that's stolen in this country are typically food and baby diapers. It's not people going out trying to steal and make rich. They're stealing out of necessity, which, again, I don't condone. We have food banks, we have charitable organizations, and there are a lot of ways to get what you need resource-wise. But unfortunately, the life that we have created with prohibition laws has created a climate where certain amounts of people get so beaten down by society that they may or may not turn to theft. So now Derrick Harris is finally pleading to get his life back, to have the opportunity to come out and be a meaningful member to society again, so long as those theft convictions don't get in his way when he tries to re-enter this world. The courts are going to hear it. The article says here that the hearing is one of 3 scheduled to be held in sequence, starting at 2 p.m., which was Monday after this article was published. Unfortunately, no information has been published since as to the outcome of that. Harris's attorneys are asking the Supreme Court to upend a 24-year-old decision in which the High Court ruled that a challenge to a sentence as being excessive can't be raised after a defendant's direct appeals have run out. So it looks like Harris has appealed this. He's been trying to fight since 2008. We'll see where this goes. As anybody who's a victim in the drug wars, I wish him luck, especially in the veteran community. It breaks me to know that our court system would throw a service member under the rug this way. But again, I feel like we're all soldiers and veterans in our own rights, battling every day through prohibition, not knowing what we can and cannot do, what states and counties have certain laws. Do you have to keep your weed in a lockbox in your trunk like a pistol? Or what if you get caught and you've got your registered firearm and your cannabis, and now you're committing a federal crime? Everybody's been backed into a corner where we're all having to fight for our freedom in one way or the other.